yo, what's up? So, I wanted to talk about how you don't have control over who you find attractive. No one does. It's one of those obvious black pill moments, right? That people don't really like to admit that life is truly just luck and genetics for the most part, where you don't have agency. Because think about it. When was the last time you looked at someone and then consciously decide, they're attractive, or they're not attractive? You don't pull out a personality detector and decide, yeah, they're attractive because they satisfy my list of things, right? This arbitrary list of personality traits. All right, now I find them attractive. Now my D can get hard. It's like, no, you just kind of look at someone, and within, I was gonna say seconds, but that's kind of generous. It's within milliseconds that years of evolution, not even years. It's like thousands, if not millions. I'm not sure. I'm not an anthropologist. I'm just a black pill bro scientist. So thousands of years of evolution have basically made it so humans, not just males, not just females, humans in general, look at someone and are able to quickly identify whether you find this person sexually attractive or not. Whether your mind subconsciously views them as a viable mate, right? Which is basically you finding them sexually attractive, right? Just that doesn't mean you're gonna go and actually have a family and kids with them, right? But that they are a potential mate, right? That kind of starts existing. You don't have a choice in that, and that same thing happens for women when they look at a guy. They don't decide to, oh yeah, this guy has this trait, or they don't pull out a personality detector, they don't pull out a clipboard with a list of personality traits, and does he check everything off? Does my personality detector, does it go off? And okay, it does. All right, now I can get wet. No, getting wet is just it's something they don't even have a choice over, right? It just happens. Just like your D getting hard. You don't choose, it's like, yeah, I'm going to make it get hard. It's like, no. If some girl decides to, show off her ass to you or something, and, you like the way she looks, then, there it goes, right? You didn't choose to, yeah, I'm consciously going to make the decision to get hard. It just happens. And that's just the way it is. And the thing is, you don't even get to decide whether you have these traits that elicit these responses, right? No human decides, yeah, I want less than ideal proportions. If it's if you're a male trying to attract females, you don't decide, oh yeah, I want this unideal facial ratio, or shoulder to waist ratio, or whatever, or height, this limb length ratio. Or if you're a female trying to attract males, you don't decide, yeah, I want this chest circumference, or waist circumference, or stuff like that, right? You have no say in that. It just kind of just happens, right? It's predetermined. You don't have agency. There's no create a class, whatever, or not create a class, that's Call of Duty. Create a character screen like in Skyrim or Fallout, where you can, oh yeah, bro, I want the ideal facial ratios. It's like, if that were true, then no guy, no person would ever create a less than ideal, human being. And even then, I'm sure there'd be, there'd be some other physical criteria that, in theory, you wouldn't be able to decide, that would be the new bottleneck, right? Because it's in like that Fairly Odd Parents cartoon show that episode where I think Timmy wishes everyone were a gray blob, and then what's his name, like Dr. Bender, the dentist, and his son, they both decide that we're the grayest and blobbiest, therefore the better, because I think Timmy kicks his ball over their fence and he wants it back, and they won't let him have the ball back because he's not gray or blobby or enough, right? There's always going to be something at the end of the day, even if everyone were to be, in theory, if everyone were to look exactly the same, there'd be some other arbitrary trait that people would think of or make up that you cannot control, that would, this thing that you didn't think of, well, now this means you're the most attractive. There's always going to be a gotcha moment, right? Because people have an ego and they always want to look for some way that they're better than you, right? That's honest to God truth, right? Every way, because it's like people are okay with you making advancements, right? And somehow improving or whatever, right? But you just can't go too far, especially in an area that person deems themselves as ideal, right? Because then you're like, oh, well, I was better than you in this way, and now you're better than me in this way, and it's like, I don't know. The whole point, it all comes back down to ego, like the advice giving, right? Like if someone were to give you advice, and then you were to somehow surpass them, and then their advice is no longer useful, and then you were to give them advice. Well, if you were to tell them, well, actually, you're wrong. This doesn't work. This is actually better. And now, and it's unsolicited too. Then, of course, that would hit their ego, and, it would hurt them. And they'd be like, there'd be that inner dialogue in them, right? Where they'd be like, oh, bro, what? My whole identity is shattered, right? It'd be like an identity shattering moment. Their ego falling apart, it'd be like a midlife crisis or something like that. But whatever. Back to the point of you don't get to decide who you're attractive to, right? So it's like I don't decide whether women find me attractive or not, right? I didn't there's no say in it, right? When I go outside into the world and a woman looks at me, she gets to decide right then and there whether, or no, that's kind of she gets to decide, right? Because she, as in whether she likes me or not, but that decision that she makes is involuntary. It's not like I said, she doesn't calculate or decide anything. It just happens. The same way I get to decide whether I find a girl attractive or not, but I don't actually make that decision, right? I don't do the background work. I don't do the math. I don't go to a chalkboard to pull out the calculator, pull out my cheat sheet of all these math formulas or whatever, pull out all my geometry proofs and let's see, let's find the derivative or or whatever, right? I'm trying to think of all these math terminology that I used to remember from calculus or whatever, or from geometry or whatever. If I just derive this, bro, I don't try to find the derivative and curvature of her figure or something like that. I just see her, and that decision is made for me. The primitive part of my brain makes that decision for me, and there it is. I find her attractive or I don't find her attractive. And then the women work the same way, because it's just a human thing. So it'd be nice if that decision was something that could be modified, but it's not. It just is or it isn't, right? And I'm just gonna cut the video there because I gotta go on a rest stop and I don't feel like making a video, so it's kind of it. Later.